Welcome to Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible, where I pull from Warhammer 40k lore to help explain biblical lore. And today we're going to be going over the Realm of Chaos. But before we get into that, take the wikis with a grain of salt. I am not a lore expert, and I do regular biblical videos every Monday, and every Thursday will be this series, Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible. And also, I moved my React videos to its own channel. His Word Only Reacts. And then my comedy series, Rise of Space Marine Dude, is on its own channel too, as well. And both channels will have new videos going out. So I do want to get that out there. And if I've earned a like and subscription, please consider doing so, as that is what pushes my videos nowadays. But anyways, let's get started. The Realm of Chaos is the name given to that portion of the Immaterium where the Chaos Gods and their demonic followers make their homes. If such a concept even has meaning within the formless, extra-dimensional space that is the Empyrean. Beyond the boundaries of physical space, unrestricted by time or casualty, there is a dimension incomprehensible to mortal minds. It lies on the other side of dreams and nightmares, infinite in scope, but without form or structure. This realm is composed of the psychic energy of love and hate, fear and hope, ambition and despair, and yet it is uncaring, emotionless, void. The realm of chaos exists far outside imagination, an impossible abstraction made real only by the metaphor and the rolling emotions of mortal minds. It is constantly reborn, but has never changed, eternally shifting, though endless in potential. No mundane sense can see, smell, or hear it. And even the most powerful psychers cannot glean the warp's true nature, lest they be driven insane. It is a place where gods thrive in constant war, fighting over the raw stuff of creation that birthed them. In this unknowable realm, titanic hosts clash, locked together in a conflict that is as old as the universe and can never be truly won. Vast demonic armies rage and scream, each warrior formed only of the psychic energy of emotion, and each driven onwards by the whims of their dark creators. Sometimes this dead realm shatters its boundaries and spills into the territory of the mortals in so-called real space. Nightmares and terror are unleashed upon the worlds of humanity and aliens alike, as armies of slavering fiends and cavorting warriors pour forth alongside regiments of blood red soldiers and batteries of brazen warp-forged war machines. While the skies burn with magical fire and rivers of blood drawn ravaged cities, and the hosts of the dark gods slaughter and maim all their path, feeding upon the souls of their victims, the real chaos, or the realm of chaos, has been made manifest, and there is no escape. Yeah. The dark gods, in the Immaterium, the psychic reflection of similar thoughts and emotions from sentient beings in real space, gathered together like rivulets of water running down a cliff face. They form streams and eddies and eddies, and eddies of anguish and desire, pools of hatred and torrents of pride. Since the dawn of time, these tides and waves of psychic energy have flowed unceasingly through the mirror realm of the warp, and such is their power that they forced into being creatures made of the very stuff of dreams and nightmares. Eventually, these instinctual, formless entities gain a rudimentary self-consciousness of their own. The Chaos Gods were born, vast psychic presences composed of the fantasies and horrors of mortals. These are the ruinous powers, and each one is a reflection of the mortal passions that formed them. First among them is Khorne, the blood god, possessed of towering and immortal fury. Tzeentch, the bizarre and ever-changing architect of fate, weaves powerful sorceries to bind the future to his will, whilst great Nurgle, the lord of decay, labors endlessly to spread infection and pestilence. The last of their number is Slaanesh, the dark prince of chaos, indulgent of every pleasure in excess, no matter how immortal or perverse. As the intelligent species of the Milky Way galaxy prospered and grew, so did their hopes and dreams, their rage and wars, their love and hatred. This burgeoning flood of raw emotion fed the Chaos Gods and nurtured their power. Eventually, the gods reached back into and through the dreams of mortals, eternally working to influence the physical realm and its myriad sentient species. A Chaos God can only grow in power through the actions and thoughts of mortals. Those who worship a Chaos God and behave in a way that feeds it are rewarded with strange mutational gifts, extraordinary powers, and potentially immortality as a demon prince. As the Chaos Gods battle in the warp, so their mortal followers wage war in the material universe. The victors of the battles earn more power, for they are unworldly master, though the twisted plans of the Chaos Gods are such that often victory is not necessary, merely the acts of sacrifice and battle themselves. Excuse me. When devotees of chaos die, their souls do not fade in the warp and disappear like the spirits of the other mortals to some unknown and unknowable fate. Instead, the immortal psychic energy is swallowed into the greatness of their gods, their souls sustained forever, bound to the eternal power of chaos. All right. Oops. Come on. There we go. The realm of the gods. Through the dreams and nightmares of mortals, the changing tides of the warp are molded into a fantastical landscape and populated with legendary beings. Timeless and ever shifting, this psychic expanse is known as the realm of chaos, the Empyrean, the warp, the immaterium or warp space, depending upon which facet of the existence one is seeking to comprehend. It is a dimension parallel to our own, a universe devoid of consistency and unbound by the physical laws which govern space and time. It is random, unstructured panorama of pure psychic energy and unfocused consciousness. It is chaos in the truest sense, unfettering by the limits of physics and undirected by intelligent purpose and will. The warp is chaos, chaos is the warp. The two are indivisible. The Chaos Gods and their dominions are one, for both are formed of the same basic psychic warp energy. As a Chaos God gathers energy from thinking beings of reality, it expands in power. Its corresponding influence upon the warp around it broadens, and its territory within the realms of chaos grows larger. No two visions of these divine realms are ever the same, but all are founded upon the same fundamental themes and feelings. As extensions of the dark gods, the appearances of their domain are formed upon the same emotions that goodness gracious, created their masters. Khorne's realm, the blood god's domain, is founded on anger and bloodletting. Tzeentch's lands, the realm of the sorcerer, are scintillating, I said that right, constructs of pure and ever-shifting psychic magic. Nurgle's territory, the land of the Plague Lord, is a heaven of death, decay, or a haven of death, decay, and regeneration. And Slaanesh's dominion, the Dark Prince's realm, is a paradise of damning temptations and hedonistic pleasures. Though realm and god are as one, the Chaos Gods each have a form that embodies their personalities and dwells at the heart of their territories. Surrounded by their attendant demons, the Chaos Gods watch over their realms, sinking any disturbances in the pattern of the warp that signal intrusion or opportunity. The formless wastes. The warp has no physical dimension, and the realm of chaos is without limits or true geography. The areas of influence controlled by the Chaos Gods form their realms, and the rest of this roiling landscape is often referred to simply as formless wastes, the land of lost souls, or the chaos abyss. Much of the formless waste is random, constantly churning and reforming. Rivers of tar flow through petrified woodlands under crimson skies. Great stairways lead to the heavens and join themselves from below, an everlasting loop. Castles made of bones and fortresses of the ichor stand amidst corpses of limbs. And the departed spirits of titanic god machines slump in graveyard heaps. Every dream and nightmare, every lunatic vision and deranged fancy of creation finds its home in the formless wastes. The formless wastes are home to the Furies, demons created by indecision and random chance. They are heralded by disembodied voices, lacking anything but the most rudimentary awareness and instinct. Greater demons and demon princes, grown powerful enough to instill a small measure of control over their surroundings, also create their abodes in formless wastes. Each of these small islands of structure is a petty domain in comparison in the vast realms of the Chaos Gods, within the realm of chaos, but each embodies the whimsy of its creator, a small shrine or temple to a niche of belief. All right, so we're going to move to the biblical side of things here, and if you don't know, I do Warhammer 40k lore first, then we get into the biblical stuff, and then we come right back to Warhammer 40k lore. So, now we're going to start with hell, right? Now, hell, unfortunately, isn't taught right? We're taught that Satan is the one who's in hell and he's there. No. Satan's called the prince of the power of the air, right? Which be the second, first and second heavens. That's his thing, right? But there is this lady, we'll just say, or a Leviathan is what she is, who actually is in control of hell. Not necessarily in control, but that's where she resides. Yeah. We're going to see that here. Proverbs 5:5. 3-5. For the lips of a strange woman drop as honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Ready? Her feet go down to death. Pay attention to this part. And her steps take a hold on hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth, and remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house. All right, who is this lady? Read this one again. Proverbs 7:27. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. There it is again. Death and hell, right? Okay. We're going to see who she is. So Ezekiel 31:4. The waters made him great. The deep, that's what the Bible calls this lady, the deep, set him up on high with her rivers running around his plants, or about his plants, and sent out her little rivers into all the trees of the field. So real quick. So this is the Norse goddess Hel, and her abode, Niflheim. So we'll read here the Niflheim. So the Norse mythology, the cold, dark, misty world of the dead, ruled by the goddess Hel. And in some accounts, it was the last of the 9 worlds, a place into which evil men passed after reaching the region of death. Situated below of the roots of the world tree. Let's go here real quick. The waters made him great. The deep set him up on high with her rivers running about his plants. Now, this is talking about the Assyrian. This is like second in command. You got Satan, then the Assyrian. Okay, right here. Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon. Interesting. And if you notice, she's got rivers, right? Check this out. Niflheim contained a well, Hverglamer. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. From which many rivers flowed. And Norse creation story. Niflheim was the misty region north of the void. Okay. Again, her feet go down to death, and her steps take hold on hell. And what's interesting is in Revelation, God throws death and hell into the lake of fire, which we'll talk about that. Or the lake of fire, anyways. So, now, this is even going to be, this right here will show you, right, who she is, what she's part of, right? So, in Genesis 1:2, and the earth was without form and void, ready, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Okay. I want you to see this here. So this is hell. And darkness was on her face. Right here. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. Right here. And death, right? And there's a scripture in Joel, I believe, where it talks about the one-eyed guy, where the sword will be upon his arm and his life, or was it right eye, will be darkened? Interesting. Okay. Oh, here's another one. So, there we go. Now, who is this person? So this is the book of Enoch, chapter 60, and the Bible gives a nod to Enoch in Jude 1:14-16. It gives a nod to the prophecies of Enoch and pulls straight from the book of Enoch. Okay, I have to say that because, anyways. So, and on that day were two monsters parted, a female monster named Leviathan. Interesting. To dwell in the abysses of the ocean and over the fountains of the waters. Okay, now you know who's in hell, per se, right? Now we're going to be talking about the realm of the dead, right? But then there's also what is called Abraham's bosom. In my opinion, this was where the Garden of Eden was. Here, let me do this. Okay, right here. I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall when I cast him down to hell with them that descended to the pit. And all the trees of Eden, the choice of the best of Lebanon, all the drink water, shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth. All right. Now let's get into, the Abraham's bosom, and then where Lazarus was, right? The waste, the wilderness. Okay. Luke 16:19-22. And there was a certain rich man, which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, full of sores, and desiring to be fed with crumbs, which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And it came to pass, the beggar died, and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died, and was buried. And in hell, there it is, he lifted up his eyes, being in torments. So, the place where she is, right? Okay. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. And Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. All right. So this is Joel. We're talking more about hell and Abraham's bosom. So a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame. Or you know what? I probably should read that part. So a day of darkness. So this is that one that I brought up this Monday, right? Of the day of the Lord. So darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even the years of many generations. Okay. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Now check this out. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape. So now we have hell, and then this Abraham's bosom, this paradise, right? And when Jesus, right, he's on the cross and he says, today you'll be with me in paradise. Well, you see this garden goeth to heaven. So it's very interesting. And that's where, so hell in the Hebrew is Sheol, right? It just means the grave. This is where the dead go, right? It's kind of like a holding house before you're judged, right? Okay. On both sides, the good ones and the bad ones. Now we're going to get into this prison house, this bottomless pit. This is where God puts all the angels and stuff who sinned, right? Like in Genesis 6, this is where he put them as well. Okay. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil, Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Now I would watch the video on Monday, because I have a totally different view than what most people say on this. So I don't want to get into that because we're not talking about that today. So anyways, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. So this is a prison house, right? Where there's no heaven, there's no bottom. It's also called the abyss. Okay. Now this is the book of Enoch, chapter 21. And I proceeded to where things were chaotic, and I saw there something horrible. I saw neither a heaven above or a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of heaven bound together in it, like great mountains, and burning with fire. Then I said, for what's, Enoch, transgressed. Okay. From thence I went to another place, which was still more horrible than the former. And I saw a horrible thing, a great fire which burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss. There it is. Being full of great descending columns of fire, neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I said, how fearful is this place, and how terrible to look upon it. Then, I love this part right here. Then Uriel answered to me, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, why hast thou such fear and affright? See, this is why I say, like, let's say an angel has these electric abilities and whatever. To us, that's magic, right? But to them, that's just creating, heating up ions around their hand with their mundane ability or whatever, They're not sitting here and impressed about it like we would be. Anyways, and I answered, because of the fearful place, because of the spectacle of pain. And he said unto me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever. Okay. Now we're going to get into this lake of fire. Okay. So Revelation 20:10. And the devil that deceived him was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night. And let me pull this one out here. And by the way, if you don't know, like, this death character is the Assyrian. He's also called the Destroyer, or an Apollyon, Abaddon, right? The Destroyer. There's many verses that get into that. I won't get into that now, but anyways, right here. Revelation 10 or 20:14. And death and hell were casted into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So we have death and hell again, right? Right here. Her feet go down to death, and her steps take hold on hell. Okay. Now you understand what's going on there. Unfortunately, you're not really taught that in the mainstream church. Okay. Read that one. Okay, Deuteronomy 4:19. Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord God had divided all nations under them, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't know why I brought that one up. What the heck? Oh, yes. So here's a description of Satan, what he's called right there. Wherein the time past he walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of obedience. Let's see here. So right here. Job 2:2. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered to the Lord and said, Going to and fro in the earth, and walking up and down in it. So it's interesting. So he's not just there, right? He's also in the air and all that. We see him here. Hold on. Okay. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, right? And Satan came also among them. Okay. So he's not in hell and rolling with, the little pitchfork. And plus, he's not some red looking dude. He's actually a dragon, right? Or a seraphim, which means fiery serpent. So, anyways. Now we're going to get back to Warhammer 40k. The Great Game. The realm of chaos is not merely the home of the dark gods, it is also their battlefield, the arena for the great game of supremacy over creation. The chaos gods are constantly at war with one another, vying for power amid the immaterial planes. And in the Bible, it's like this as well. The demons and everything, they're fighting each other as well. Despite their myriad of differences, the great chaos gods have the same goal: total damnation of the universe, such as absolute power cannot be shared, especially amongst the divine. With the ebb and flow of psychic energy within the world, the power of a chaos god expands and contracts, and their realm will shift accordingly. For long periods, one god may dominate the others, fed by its own success, leeching its foes' psychic energy for its own growth. Ultimately, the other gods will ally against the dominant force, and through combined efforts reduce it in power, until another of their number rises to prominence. This pattern is played out again and again through eternity. No chaos god can ever truly be victorious, for without the great game, the warp would become a still, unmoving emptiness, as it was before the birth of this sentient life in the universe. When the gods war, the immaterium trembles, and warp storms rage across the galaxy. Within the realm of chaos, hordes of demons are sent forth to do their master's biddings, and the lands of the gods strain and heave at each other in psychic assault. Oops. Possessed of personality and intelligence, the demons of the chaos of a chaos god aspire to draw favor from their master, and often launch their own attacks into domains of rival demons. The armies of the chaos gods pour from one territory to another, and each reflects their master's nature. Khorne's demons advance as a great legion, accompanied by blaring horns. Beneath brazen banners, the whips of roaring monstrosities urge on rank upon rank of bloodthirsty foot soldiers. With raw anger and violence, the blood legions of Khorne cut a swath, through enemy territory. The blood spilt by their attacks, polluting the realm of the enemy, turning it into Khorne's wasteland. Tzeentch is perhaps the most devious of the gods, for he will always create a weakness to exploit before attacking. Through plotting, innuendo, and magic, Tzeentch frequently sets the other gods to war with each other. He waits patiently to see how these conflicts progress, and when the time is right, his cackling minions and manipulative magisters sweep towards upon a carpet of magic, or forwards, striking at the weakest of the contenders. With magical blasts and warping power, the armies of Tzeentch, the scintillating legions, quickly overcome opposition, and newly claimed territory swiftly becomes part of Tzeentch's crystalline domain. When Nurgle's minions are set free, they march forth to spread disease and decay. Sonorous chanting and the rusting clangs of a thousand bells heralded the attacks of the plague legions, while the army advances under an impenetrable swarm of bloated carrion flies. Capering demon mites carpet the ground before the host, and the noxious poxes of the fleshy hulks that command them kill everything in their path, rendering all life down to mulch from which evil fungi and poisonous plants erupt. Slaanesh attacks in a more insidious manner, as might be expected of the Prince of Pleasures. The first assaults are subtle, unnoticeable to the other gods. Inside the fabric of another god's realm, the tendrils of Slaanesh's power eveigle never seen that word before. Anyways, their way into root, bone, and crystal, and corrupting them from within. As the land itself becomes perverted to Slaanesh's power, it dulls the senses of the enemy's demons, allowing the fast-moving demonic armies of Slaanesh, the legions of excess, to strike swiftly and decisively. From time to time, there arises a being, place, object, or event in the material universe that attracts the attention of all the chaos gods. So important this new element, so desired or so dangerous, that all rivalry and temporarily put aside in order for chaos to take advantage of this particular opportunity, or thwart the threat that presents. When the four major Ruinous powers work as one for a while under the banner of Chaos Undivided, and the galaxy trembles before their combined might. For humanity, the most significant occasion of this type was the rise of the Emperor of Mankind in the late 30th millennium. During this period, the Chaos Gods tried all their might to bring about the Master of Mankind's downfall, culminating in their corruption of the Space Marine Primarchs in the terrible civil wars of the Horus Heresy in the early 31st millennium. Other events have led to briefer cessations of the endless conflict in the realm of chaos. Particularly promising Black Crusaders, for example, or the extermination or birth of a new intelligent starfaring species. Such interest in the mortal affairs is fleeting. Entreaties and oh my goodness, I can't say that word. Armistices, oh my goodness, between the chaos gods do not last for long. As soon as their common objective is achieved, the gods begin to resume their great game. One god or another, or all four, oversteps the bounds of the previous allegiance agreement and attempts to usurp his fellow gods. Once again, the realm of chaos thunders to the march of demonic legions, and their age-old fields spill over into the domains of humanity. All right, we're gonna go ahead and end it there because we've done, the blood god's domain and all that. But I've never really just did a chaos, realm of chaos video. So we're gonna end it there, guys. And if you haven't, please consider liking the video and subscribing if you're new, because that's what pushes the video. And I want to thank my subscribers who stuck with me, and all the new people who have come, and all that. And the ones who dislike the videos too. Thank you for at least, helping the channel out, I guess. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.